In this lecture, I'm going to be talking to you guys about something called as methods. Now, methods is some kind of function which can be used on certain objects. Unlike other functions which can be used independently, methods can't be used in that way. It has to be linked or it has to be related to an object to carry out its operation. Let me just quickly show you guys how this is done on Python so you'll understand it much better. Open up your Python shell, and then I'm just gonna quickly create a new example object and to show you some of the methods which can be used on it. So I'm just gonna call it as example and then add few elements such as computer, random, and then one last element, keyboard. Right. So to use a method on an object, you first need to write the object name example, and then you need to add a period. So that's going to specify you're going to use a method on this specific object, and these are the objects which can be used on this these are the methods which can be used on this object. So firstly we'll check out the append method. Just write the example and then append. So what this method does is it appends or it adds a new element on the end of a new list or end of the object. So you're going to specify the parameter as the new element. For this example, I'm just going to keep it as um, random again. So if you see the list, you can see that the new element has been added at the end of the object. So that's what the append method does. Let's take a look at another method called count, and for that I'm going to create a new object and I'm going to add a few elements. Right, so I've got the object called as numbers, and then I'm going to use a method called as count. So write count and then add two parentheses, and the parameter is that element which has to be searched. So what count does is it checks or it searches how many times a certain element has been repeated in an object or in a list. So in this example, let me just take 3 and then see how many times it has been repeated. Well, 3 is repeated 3 times, so I'm just going to use 1. So it says 1 has been repeated 2 times in this list. So this is how it works. It checks the first element, so that's 1, 2, and then nope, 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 and the rest of them is false, so it returns false. So that's how the count method works on object. The one last method which I wanted to talk to you guys is called extend. So that's going to extend two objects or two lists into one single list. Now obviously you can do it this way. You can write numbers equals to numbers, or you can write example plus numbers, and then when you display it, it adds or it appends two list into one list. You can also do it by using the extend method. So if you write numbers and type extend and then you write example, that's gonna append example list at the end of numbers. So you type enter, then write numbers, you can see the list has been added up. So this is how you're going to use methods on different objects. So this is just a very basic introduction into what are methods and how it can be used. In our upcoming lectures we'll learn more about objects and how to create objects user defined and also user defined methods. So that's all for this lecture guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys in my next lecture. Thank you.